go DK with episode 3, the third playable mission of the Protoss campaign, the OG StarCraft campaign. Higher ground. Let's get this started here. Citadel of the Executor, 2 hours later from the previous mission.
Executor, I bring news most dire. The cerebrate that we thought we had killed has arisen again. The creature's battered form was reincarnated despite the considerable damage we inflicted upon it. Even now, the cerebrate drives its brood in preparation for their next offensive.
It is as I feared. It was folly to believe Tassadar could be trusted. The Conclave will not soon forget his wanton betrayal. Nevertheless, we must stand resolute, for attacking defenseless cerebrates is not the way of true Protoss warriors. We shall overcome the entire swarm with the might and the fury that is our heritage. Executor, we shall lead our main strike force to the province of Scion, which has fallen to the Zerg. It's time the Zerg felt the wrath of the Sons of Ire. Praetor Phoenix will remain here with a small detachment and guard Antioch from any further assaults.
Adun be with you, Executor. Bring swift death to the enemies of Ire.
Alright, and the briefing: destroy the Zerg colonies. So this is another macro mission here that is kind of, I should say, unprecedented as far as the storyline goes, because it's not really that crucial to the story. Because technically, the cinematic is where it's more important than this playable mission. But for now, Blizzard is basically telling the player or the Executor that we need to hone our macro skills here, because this does, the level of difficulty really spiked up from this compared to a previous mission. And we also get access to scouts in this mission with no upgrades still, which is kind of sad, but we can still get their attack and defensive upgrades from the cybernetics core, but for now we're just making some buildings here and whatnot. I think I warped in my gateway way too early, but that'll have to do. And is it me, or is the sound like so loud? It's like, yeah, it's like a bit louder than what I originally intended. Okay, that should be better. And now I need to wait for this pylon to warp in so I can get sideblocked. See, our Aldaris is saying we need to build more pylons. Okay, there we go. And I dislike how in the minimap, like, I don't see that white border line like below my minimap right now. Although I can see it from the top side. I don't know why it does that, but then again, what do I know, Okay, let's try to kill this overlord. That's 100 minerals. And we can also expand here, which most people normally do, but as far as I go, I think I'm gonna spice up the gameplay a bit and expand to the other side, which is like over here, which is between the two Zerg colonies. So there are two Zerg AIs that we need to worry about, which is red and white, as you've noticed so far. Okay, and that thing is done. And as for right now, this mission is kind of I'll say this objectively harder, not subjectively, because most people do have that notion that this third mission sure is kind of a bit different from the first two missions. And this is the expand that I was talking about, which I will go there relatively soon, maybe. as we get our first upgrades and whatnot. But and we're gonna need another gateway here to like further our unit producing. And we're gonna obviously get singularity charge and invest in some. And I think, yeah, we need one more pro here. Actually, 4 pros would be ideal for the assimilator here, but we don't need that much gas. Unless you know, as a player, you opt to, you know, prioritize scouts. Which, by the way, massing scouts in this mission, it does work, but it does take quite a bit of time. But I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna do the classic, the gateway opening here as the Protoss. Even Aldaris says, you know, in the mission briefing that we Protoss warriors are select fierce warriors or whatever. So that's what we're gonna go with. And this should be here. And as you can see, the attack pattern is getting a bit stronger here and more frequent compared to the first 2 missions. And there's not that much, not too many like tips written out anymore. Like it doesn't say like what Protoss do, like and stuff like that. But then again, since we did play the Terran and Zerg campaign prior to this, maybe Blizzard is saying, oh, you should be able to get the basics by now, so we don't need to, you know, babysit you anymore. Yeah, we'll get that leg speed here, leg enhancements. One thing I like about StarCraft 1 is the naming of the upgrades here. Like, it feels more like complicated, not complicated. Like the terminology feels more scientific or developed compared to the naming of compared to the upgrade names from StarCraft 2. At least that's how I envision it, at least. And that's what I noticed so far, but I don't know, maybe it's just me, but like StarCraft 2, like some of the upgrades names sound so corny or something. I don't know, that's just me, guys. What are your thoughts on that? But then again, they're like really old, you know, fans, like StarCraft 1 players, or as the younger folks say, blue-word elitists, that claim that you know, old StarCraft 1 players will never accept StarCraft 2, which, I mean, they have to understand our perspective too, you know, like, why do you think that's the case? It's because they didn't do a very well job with the story and basically the gameplay aspect, but you know, those StarCraft 2 players, they don't know that much. But then again, if you're really blinded by nostalgia, then again, it's hard to get to that compromise. Like, you know, like it's like the both parties of StarCraft 1 and StarCraft 2 will never admit, like, will never be friendly with each other or something like that. Because I said again, StarCraft 2 is a bit of a disappointment to most of the StarCraft 1 hardcore players. I'm not saying all StarCraft 1 players, you know, dislike StarCraft 2. It's just the consensus is that the sequel didn't really live up to its name, you know, compared to its predecessor. You know what I mean? So that's just the thing I'm trying to point out here. But there are still players that say, "Oh, StarCraft 2 is a wonderful game," or like people saying like, "Oh, you shouldn't be compared at all with StarCraft 1," like, because it's like those two are completely different games. But which is true too, because StarCraft 2 is fundamentally different from StarCraft 1, but there's that notion of people saying, like, believing that, oh, since StarCraft 1 is such a good game, they should have followed the footsteps of StarCraft, like, StarCraft 2 should have followed the footsteps of StarCraft 1, which is not the case, obviously, but then again, who are we to say, you know, it's all about perspectives. You know? It's all people's opinions, you know, regarding which game is better or crap or whatever. So in the end, it's just your opinions. Oops, just don't get butthurt, you know? But there will be a lot of butthurt people in the end, which is unfortunate, but that's just, you know, how it is. It's kind of like politics, where like, let's say like in America you have the Democratic and Republican sides to choose from. Not really, but there are also more parties. But those two are the main that you'll normally find in the United States, and believe me, there are like a lot of people. Like let's say like if you're a Republican, they really don't like liberals or people who vote for, you know, Democrats, you know, stuff like that, and vice versa. But I'll get it. But why is that? It's because their views are different. You know? If you have conflicting views, or like if you cannot truly understand why certain people believe in such fashion, then of course there's gonna be some hate going on. But you just need to go past that phase and try to understand each other, which should have been the case for the StarCraft 1 and 2 communities, but unfortunately that's not the case. And I kind of noticed this in most of the sequel games. Like let's talk about Warcraft, like Warcraft 1 and 2 with Warcraft 3, like the old Warcraft, like Warcraft fans back when they were only like humans and orcs, they really dislike how the orcs were portrayed in Warcraft 3, because it just lost all that savage portrayal that Warcraft 1 and 2 provided before Warcraft 3, obviously. So another reason is that, and I think I'm gonna attack now, because why not? I need more units than this, by the way. We need like a butt ton of units, so I'm actually gonna send more there. We shouldn't be attacked by red, but just in case, I'll set up some pylons, photon cannons, and yeah, that should be fine. But anyway, going back to Warcraft, yeah, like there are like old fans like claiming like Warcraft 3 didn't do justice or whatever, because the orcs were portrayed so horribly. But and the same goes with Dota 1 and Dota 2. Like people are complaining, like arguing which game is superior when they're pretty much the same. But it's just that whenever a game is like divided into like sequels or something, there's like a segregation going on, and people have to measure their EQ, like which game is better and whatnot. But oh gosh, that's not good. Okay, well, let's try to move that there. Let's try to salvage my base, new base. Okay, fortunately for me, the Forge managed to finish upgrading the last shield upgrade. So let's try to save that. And we lost a bunch of probes, which need to migrate back to our new base. And yeah, white is completely done. And in the meantime, I need to rebuild a forge and keep making probes here. And yeah, this is the first colony that we eradicated. I like the terrain design for this mission. Kind of unique in a way, I guess. And it's a pretty decent size for a macro mission, I have to say. And the trees look really nice in Remastered. Like, yeah, that looks definitely more polished than the original graphics. But anyway. Okay, we lost like a pylon and stuff here, but That's bound to happen because I was just too reckless. Anyway, let's rally our units here. These units can go there and we can attack now. It's unfortunately we cannot get whatchamacallit, Archons, because this map does provide a lot of gas for you to spam Archons. Okay, we're gonna do that. Oh, thin out some units here. Damn, a lot of sunken colonies here, by the way, guys. So that's why I believe Blizzard gives us an option to get scouts to counter the sunken colonies, but then again, sunken colonies have 3 base armor and scouts do 8 damage against ground units, so it's like it does 5 damage. Like, just think about that to sunken colonies. Scouts do 5 damage against sunken colonies, and you know how long that's gonna take? Like, it's actually crazy if you think about it. Alright, let's try to get the sunken there. Okay, that should be good. This is dead. Why am I not surprised? There's more sunken colonies in the bottom area, which we need to exterminate here. And our scout can be warped in now. I can actually get weapons up here. Actually, this game's over, guys. This mission's over. Tomorrow, I wasn't planning to upload and play StarCraft today, but oh, that's a lot of colonies. But I second guess myself, so I will be uploading this once I am done with this mission, which should be done. Did that Zerg have adrenal glands just now? Yeah, that sure does look like it. No wonder this mission is considered kind of hard. And they're upgraded too. Gosh, scouts take so long to warp in. Yeah, we need to move some pros to the actually we're saturated there too. Alright, now you go there. Okay, let's get that. Alright, the gas back here, I guess. Yeah, that should be the last sunken colony, and we're good. This scout can tear apart that mutalisk. And yeah, the zealots can take care of the spore colony. And we're good, right? Anyway, let's see what's going on here. Scouts being, Scouts literally doing 8 damage to ground units, like every 2 seconds. The DPS, the damage per second on Scouts are really terrible against ground units. They're very strong against it. They're like the supreme anti-air units, but against ground, it's pitiful, to be honest. And when they send the probes to attack, not just attack them, I guess. Scouts costing 275 minerals, guys. That's almost a hat trick, guys. And 125 gas. In the older versions of StarCraft 1, Scouts used to cost 300 minerals. It was a blasphemy in my opinion, but that's just how it was. Alright. They also rebuilt the spawning pool down there. Try to get some of the flying balloons here. Our probes getting in some action here. They exterminated the Zerg here. And that should be it.
Antioch is under attack by overwhelming Zerg forces.
Praetor, you must hold your position for as long as possible. Fight on, brave Phoenix, and know that the gods watch over you. Entaro Adun.
Know that the gods are watching you. Yep, that should be it here, folks. That took a little bit longer than I expected. But anyway, oh, my APM went up a bit too. Oh, interesting. Anyway, before I conclude this video, we're gonna go straight into cinematic here. Pray to Phoenix Protoss Temple Grounds, province of Antioch. That's where we were first at in the first mission. And apparently there is desert on Ire, which didn't feel like it because the terrain is actually composed of jungle. And that's Phoenix actually. You can tell because he has that golden eyes. And he looks badass. You can just tell that's Phoenix. I feel like the death of Phoenix was kind of made as a joke. Like Blizzard or something. How the mighty have fallen. And that should be it. The Zerg hive cluster near the Scion province was destroyed, but the Protoss forces paid a high price for their victory. And we're gonna continue in the next video for sure after I read this. Praetor Phoenix, hero and steward of the Templar, was killed during the assault. The Conclave, convinced that its stratagems are winning the war against the Zerg, have let down their guard and turned their attention to personal matters. And Executor Aldaris was ordered to find and arrest the wayward Tassadar and bring him home to stand trial for his crimes of treason. Now, with only a small fleet for protection, Aldaris and the Executor have traveled to the ash world of Char, hoping that Tassadar is still somewhere to be found. And we shall conclude that mission for another time. DK signing off here, folks.